Well, what's for dinner tonight? Well, we're going to have homemade fish and chips. Now, the chips are already in the oven chips, so I'm cheating a bit. And I'm also going to make, with this potato, some potato scallops. If you've ever had them, you know what I'm talking about. So all I'm going to do is cut these fillets, these are whiting fillets, just into 3. We could have just one big piece, but we like the idea of having 2 or 3 crunchy bits of fish on our plate. So there's one. And this will be the other one. Alright, so you can see there's now 6 little bits of fish. What I am going to do is I've got some flour in here. Now this is just going to coat them. As you see, this is just corn flour. So I'm going to put them in here, and when I'm ready to cook them, I've already made a batter up earlier which I put in the fridge probably a couple of hours ago. If you look at it, it's a consistency of thick cream. That's how we like it. You can make batter thinner like tempura if you want to. So this is flour, salt, water. I thought you can make it with beer if you want to, but I'm sure a lot of you have already made batter. So what I'm going to do now is just put all these little portions of fish in a bag. Could do it in a bowl, but when I finish with them I can then just throw the bag away. Very simple. So all I'm going to do now is coat them. Okay, you can use all sorts of flour. This is corn flour. You can use just plain flour. You can use rice flour. Use whatever you like. Let's put that out of the way. Now all I'm going to do is take them out. These are ready to be battered. As you can see, they're nicely coated in flour, and that will stick to the batter, and it will be perfect. So, and of course, when these go into the batter, they actually nearly double in size when you put them in the actual oil. This oil is heating up over here. I'm using brown oil. You can use olive oil, you can use vegetable oil. It's entirely up to you. Oh, a little bit of fish that fell apart. That's a bonus. Oh, another one. Little bonus pieces of fish. Okay, so there we go. And I'll just sprinkle a little bit of flour on top, just while we're waiting. It's probably about 5 minutes away until the oil's at the right temperature. And I'll show you shortly how we figure that one out. First of all, let me show you a little trick with this potato. It's just a potato. I'm just going to peel it. Yes, you could use a smaller knife if you wanted to. Just peeling it away. I'm sure I don't need to teach people how to peel potatoes. You can use a peeler. I like grabbing a sword and using it. No, any knife will do. But there we go. So that's just a potato. That doesn't seem much. I'll show you a little trick to get a balance. Just cut a level in there. So when you do it on its edge, and I'll do it this way, maybe you'll see it better there. I'm just going to cut thin slices, all right? Because these are going to go straight in the batter, straight in the fryer. So I'll probably get about 4 or 5 out of this. They're not paper thin slices, you know, 1/8 of an inch I suppose. So that's what you'll end up with, and what you do is we'll just before putting the oil, I'll dip it in the batter, and away they go. So we'll come back very shortly when that oil's ready to go, and I'll cook the scallops first, and then we'll do the fish. Be right back. All right, I think the oil's nearly ready. How I test, so I get a little bit of my batter, drop it in the middle, and what I want to see is it sizzling and spinning, and it's ready to go. So that's just about right, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the potatoes, because they actually take a little bit longer than the fish to cook. So I'm just going to dunk the potatoes in, put them in the pan carefully, and you'll see the potatoes cooking quite quickly. That's 2. These are potato scallops. And if you don't know how to make batter, just have a look online. It's very simple. There's billions of videos on how to make batter. As you see that even though we'll put in a certain size potato, after it's actually cooked, it doubles in size. And it's crispy, golden. and yummy. A couple of those little bits that we had hanging over, left over, just throw them in. There's a little bit of potato going in at the very last minute. Wipe my hands. You can see they're popping up off the bottom. It's sort of semi-shallow frying, deep frying, because it's about, oh, the oil's probably about an inch deep. And all we're doing now is separating so they don't stick together. Actually, it's not that hard to do. Always be careful when you're cooking with oil, particularly if you're not experienced, because it will give you third-degree burns, and you don't want that. So they've been in there probably about a minute now. You can see they're cooking quite rapidly. Just give it a bit of a spin. You can see a bit of colour. We're sealing all of that batter that's gone around the potatoes. I'll probably have to maybe let them cook 3-4 minutes longer, and then I'll be putting them into a little tray here to drain the fat off, and then I'll cook the fish. So when these are ready, I'll show you taking them out and I'll show you putting in the fish. I'll be back real soon. Alright, they've been in there for 6 or 7 minutes, I think, maybe even 8, I'm not sure. But I've turned them over a couple of times and they're ready. As you can see, all of that's just that small potato covered in batter. It looks a lot more. So just carefully lift out and shake off any excess fat. Try and stand them up so we can actually drain any excess fat off them in the pan as well. These will stay hot for a good 15-20 minutes, easy, without any doubt at all. I've got a job when the family gets here to keep up cooking these while they eat them. Nice and crunchy, just how we like them. Last little bit, which I know you'll be getting that. Alright, what we're doing now is going to do the fish. I'll probably put about 4 bits in at a time. It's sticky, it's all wet and gooey and all that sort of stuff. By jingo, does it turn into some fantastic food when you're done. Just flip it over a couple of times, get your finger in, shake the excess off, and the pan. This is whiting. I don't know whether I said that at the start, but it's whiting. Beautiful white fish. I might do another little bit, and then we'll do the other in the second batch. You can put more in the pan, but you overcrowd it, means the oil gets a bit cooler. It doesn't make them nice and crispy. So what you're watching now is just the start. I'm going to leave it like that for probably 30 or 40 seconds. And then I'll flip them over, and again I'll turn them like I did with the potato. I'll turn them 3 or 4 times, but just taking it off the bottom. Right, so we've got a little bit of a seal underneath. Let's flip them over. Same process as the potatoes. Like I say, fish cooks very, very quickly. So this won't take 8 minutes. It'll probably take 2 or 3 minutes on each side. Might turn them 2 or 3 times to get that golden crunch like we got on the potato. So we won't make you wait. We'll come back in a few minutes when the first batch is ready to go, and then I'll take them out and put the last fish in. Be right back. Alright, probably been in about 7 minutes. They're cooked. So what I will do now, again, just drain off a little bit of the fat there. In this pan. You can tell the difference between the potato scallops and the fish. It may look on camera that they're very similar just because they're in the same batter. Okay, now we've just got a few more to put in. And these again will only take 7 minutes. It'll be done. If you don't eat a lot of fish, well, some people don't like fish, of course, but if you can, try and eat a bit more fish. It's a good break up in your diet from meats. We often have just vegetarian roast meals or steamed veggies. Fish is good, once or twice a week if you can, and it depends, you know, sometimes fish in certain areas is very expensive. So now what we're going to do is, again, same process. As you see the fish over here, these are going to stay quite hot. They're cooked in batter. These were done 15 minutes ago and they're still quite warm. So all we need to do now is to wait for these last 4 portions of fish.
And a batter blob.
And my wife wants the residue batter into crunchy batter bits, because that's the thing she likes. Alright, come back shortly and we'll show you the end product. We'll get the chips out of the oven, dish up dinner and show you what it looks like. Alright, we're now finished cooking the remainder of the fish. Put in here. It's a weird and wonderful shape, but that's okay. There are the little tidbits on the end. Now these are what my wife wanted, which is the leftover batter.
Yum. Turned
into crispies. Exclusively what she wants. Let's turn the oil off. What we've got here is potato scallops, fish, and some crispy batter. Now we'll dish these up now. We're going to have a little bit of tartar sauce. I'm sure you guys know what tartar sauce is. We've also got some nice crinkle cut chips. Each one of these chips has been hand carved. No, that's not true. These are oven fries. Simply buy them, and this is about half a kilo out of a bag, so there's another half bag left for another meal later. Now we buy the fish, and this was on special, half price. So the fish was $6, $6.60 or something, I think, or $6.70, and it was 6 pieces in there. So we're only having a piece each, as you saw, and that means it's $1 a piece. Now the chips were $2 for the packet, so that's half a packet, so that's another $1. So the fish $1, the chips $1, the potato 10 cents. So let's put some fish on now. This will be for the wife. These are a little bit cooler than the ones I just cooked, so she'll have those. I've got to make room for her crunchy bits, which she devours. The noise is deafening, like pork crackle, I suppose. I'm going to put mine on. This fish, nice big piece there. Got my little bits. Now we're going to do the potato scallops, so we'll put a bit of a gap. Big one for the wife, she'll like that. And I might have the one that's left over. Alright, so what we got there, let me just cut a lemon up, because I like a bit of lemon on my fish. So that's me sorted. Probably a bit of salt, I imagine. No salt's been on here yet. And I like pepper. So there you go. Probably the cost of each meal, probably around about $2.50, let's say $3. The lemons are free, they come off our tree. So $3 for fish and chips made at home. Yes, someone else is not cooking it for you, you're doing it. But if you've never had potato scallops, or you've never had deep fried or semi-shallow fried fish, give it a go. Fish is good for you. Yes, it's been cooked in oil, but this is bran oil, also approved for your old ticker. Anyway, we're going to sit down and enjoy that now. And if you have been, thank you very much for watching.